Hello guys, welcome back to another P3D video. Today we're doing a tutorial for the FSLabs A320 family series. Everyone, well 30-ish% of you have requested me to do a tutorial for the FSLabs aircraft, and just below that was the 787 from Quality Wings. So once I've done this tutorial, I may possibly do a 787 tutorial, which will actually be so much easier than this one, because the FSLabs is a hard aircraft to fly. It's so in-depth, so everything, it's just amazing. Anyway, so the flight we're going to be doing today will be taking the A321 from here, New York, JFK, off to St. Martin, TNCM. I have done this flight before, and I believe it's in the A320 of JetBlue, and the FSLabs, of course, and it's a nice 3-hour-ish long flight. Let's see what Subaru says for us. 3 hours and 25 minutes. So this first part of the tutorial is basically getting the whole aircraft set up to the point of engine start / pushback. As you can tell, got a nice sunrise coming ahead, soon coming to the JFK area. We're at the JetBlue terminal. I think we're at stand 7. And we're flying November 903 JB. Not JB, Justin Bieber, for JetBlue. Anyway, it's icy as well. It is -9 degrees centigrade, 16 degrees Fahrenheit here in JFK. So the good thing about this tutorial, I can show you how the icing works. However, within the cockpit of the A321, maybe on the A320 and A319, this DCDU, or whatever it's called, will come later. However, I still yet to know how it all works. I haven't really found a proper use for it yet in my flying in the A321. So if you do want to find out how to use this, I am going to link a video by a Blackbox711 on his tutorial for the DCDU. Very in-depth, very good. I watched it and I've forgotten how to do it. Anyway, so yeah, if you want to learn how to fly the FSLabs A320, A321, A319, and other variants that they might make in the A320 family. Well, any other one is the A318, which I think they said they're not going to make because it's not very high in demand or whatever it is in the real world. Anyway, so this applies for all of the aircraft that FSLabs make, and you can kind of transfer this sort of tutorial over to the Aerosoft and Tolis and Flight Factor for those on X-Plane and whatever other aircraft X-Plane Airbuses are. But there are some FSLabs set systems which only apply to FSLabs, for example. To begin, we're just going to have to turn on the MCDU. So you may not get the aircraft in a cold and dark state before you... It's a bit bright. There we go. On your first loading, what you can do is go to panel states, set default state, and then cold and dark. So every time you reload the aircraft, or just load in the aircraft, it'll be in a cold and dark state. If not, if you don't want to do that, you can just go to low state and then cold and dark, like so. Power for the aircraft, if you set cold and dark, you should have the external power available, and you just click that on, and the aircraft has now got power running through it. These displays will do a self-test, so as you can see, in 40 seconds-ish, these displays will power up and come online, and you can see all on here as well. Everything is powered up. As well, you just want to get the batteries turned on, so battery 1 and 2 just goes on like so. You can see the voltage just creeps up a tad. It should be around 29 volts-ish. As well, you want to get the RSs that are aligned as fast as possible, so those should be the first things you turn on. So you just want to turn RS 1 to nav, then 2, and then 3 to nav. To be honest, it doesn't really matter which order you turn them on to nav, but I just like going 1, 2, 3, so yeah. And that on-back light should just go off after 5-10 seconds. There you go, all the displays are now on and working. Because we've got the power now, we can go and turn on the second MCDU of the aircraft, like so. And it goes bright again, I don't know why it does that. Is it the same here? Anyway, get to options. All these options are all customizable and all up to you on how you do things. This one's kind of cool because if you've got dirty windows, you can clean them. and then all the bugs will get cleaned off the windows, but we don't have any bugs, so that's fine. So this kind of isn't like, this page isn't really up to you in terms of customizability, but these next two pages, these are up to you. Like, so I don't really know, I haven't really edited any of these. Maybe the boarding music I might turn on. Sometimes I've never really heard the boarding music. Maybe it's because it's always been off. But it's, as you can tell, it says reset this airframe. Basically it means this aircraft has been customized already by the painter for like a JetBlue operations. Maybe they don't have boarding music. Anyway, and then, yeah, I don't even know what this is. These are the default altitudes for thrust reductions. This page, now, you can actually select what seat you sit in. I don't know what it does, like, but I always have it in captain because I always sit in the captain side. The sounds, like I said, all up to you. You can have airport sounds on or off. So basically, when you sit outside, you can hear this airport sort of sound. There's a sun. I can see it just reflecting on the aircraft. It's meant to be there somewhere. Anyway, and yeah, sound devices. I think you can set the default devices, different devices for different sounds. As well, you can set the controls up. So thrust levers. If you had 2 levers or no reverses on the stick or whatever, you can change everything with the detating zones as well. We hit idle, where it's just sat idle, where it's sat at climb, where it's set to flex, and where it's set to toga. So there's a little zone where it will click in. So if I just move the throttle up to climb, it'll just clip in there, and you can see its thrust position. Boom, that's in climb now, and then flex, and then toga all the way. Cool. Anyway, obviously if you get it wrong, you can just click default. And there's one bit I do like everyone to tick. So if you go to the rudder and then the brakes, not the brakes, the pedals, sorry. There's this setting here, which I have off because I've just reinstalled this aircraft with the latest update. But if you turn it on, this setting basically makes this sticky. Typically a pilot would just hold it down and then steer the aircraft. This is what the tiller is, and this is how the aircraft steers on the ground with the nose wheel. So if you turn it left, the nose wheel will turn left. What it means, pedal disconnect. If you just move your pedal, it won't, well, I can't move it right now because this is on. But if you disconnect it, there you go, the pedals move, and turn it on, the pedal disconnects, and now it's nose. The reason why I have a sticky, so they don't have to keep looking down there, holding it down, and trying to sit at the same time. I think you can hold the collar button, or should push it down. Yeah, the collar button holds it as well. So if you kind of want to be realistic, you can turn that off, hold the collar button, and then steer. Anyway, that's the main settings for this aircraft, and we'll now go and set up everything else. So this tutorial, I'm kind of assuming you know how to do all the SimBrief downloader stuff. So exporting to where's it gone? P3D, like the BGL file. Is it BGL? I don't know. FLP or whatever it is. File for, let's say, Project Fly, like here, and Active Sky, which will add to a flight plan, which I haven't done. Now I am doing it like so. So now Active Sky has the routing in here, and as well FSLabs A320, which is, well, if you have the FSLabs A320, you export a route to it, which I'll show you just in a sec how you're going to do this. So just on SimBrief, just remember the call sign you've entered. For us it's JetBlue, JBU 787. What a nice call sign. Boeing call sign for an Airbus. Well, it's not Boeing call sign, it's just 787. Anyway, if you have VPilot as well, you can also export it here, and other aircraft like the Quad Wings and PMDG. So the SimBrief download is really good. So for those of you who use PFPX, it's kind of annoying the way it exports things, but it still works the same. You can export this sort of file to the FSLabs, so if you do need help on that, if you are one of those people, do comment below and I'll make a separate quick video on how to export the PFPX flight plan to the FSLabs company routes. Anyway, that's that, and that's how you get the company routes. The company route I've already done, I've already exported it. Also, the nav database is 2002, which is up to date. And as you can tell, if you click on FMGC, I've already done it, this comes to this page. This is the first page you'll come to. Basically, all it is just to check your engine type, your aircraft type, if you don't know what it is, and your nav database, which, as you can see, is 2002. So typically the first page you want to go to is the init page, and instantly that call sign you just remembered, you just enter it into the scratch pad, JetBlue 787, and put it into the flight number, and you click init request. And as long as you exported everything correctly, boom, everything's come through. It's got the from JFK to St. Martin, it's got our alternate company route, which go into San Juan, or however you pronounce that place. Cost index is 50 with the flight cruising level of 330. Ground temp minus 9 degrees centigrade, that is. Zero fuel weight and the block fuel, we can enter that in later. We'll just leave it empty for now. And GPS primary, so the IRSs we aligned earlier have just aligned up, which is awesome. Also, if you want to quickly do it now, it is 3065, that's really high for what it is. It's just super high actually, 3065. Boom. There you go. It's got an little discrepancy because these aren't equal, but if you want to save your time, just click B, then it'll just equal them all the same. I'm not too sure actually if there's a way of putting this to inches or not, but I haven't really found a way. Anyway, it's 1038. Now you know which one it is in inches and typical hectopascals. You can go to the win page and request wins. All it will do is will make your flight time calculated by the computer a bit more accurate, but that's all it does. It doesn't do anything else. So if you're on the MCG menu, if you're not, just click the MCG menu button and go to ATSU and then AOC menu. Here's the AOC menu, and this is everything to do with ACARS, and it's very useful sometimes. Sometimes you don't have to do it, but if you have GSX, it's very useful and very cool to do. This will just take some time, I'm assuming. Anyway, go to the init page, and if you have exported or imported the company route, all you have to do is click init data request, and these two will fill out these two boxes. Here we go. JetBlue 787 departing. Sorry, out of JFK, and our destination is St. Martin. The current fuel on board is 2 tons, and estimated time on route is 3 hours and 25 minutes. So yes, we do have 2 tons of fuel, so we do need to get more fuel on board. So go to the OFP data menu, and like I said, if you've done the company route correctly, you'll have this filled out. So you have your block fuel, taxi fuel, trip fuel, and your zero fuel weight, and this has the standard time of departure. If it comes out like orange, it's probably because you had the wrong time in it. So let's go 1080, 1050, for example. We'll get orange like that. If it is like that, let's click the clear button, which so it comes out with the clear, and to clear it off, and the aircraft will calculate an automated random standard time of departure. Anyway, if you have GSX, you can just put this to via GSX. If you don't, you can just put instant, and it'll instantly load the fuel, or you just put it automatically, and it'll try and automatically find which one you have. But I have GSX, so I'm going to refuel today with GSX. Just click the send button. The GSX menu should pop up and then disappear, like so, and refueling service has been requested. Next page on the AOC menu is the boarding page. Get to the boarding page, it says zero fuel weight is 72, but it comes with orange, basically meaning SimBrief has calculated a zero fuel weight, which is too high for the aircraft, which it doesn't really like, and I don't think you can, entry out of range, it doesn't really like it. That's fine. We go to the request page anyway, and we click catering. We can request this stuff, and whatever the zero fuel weight comes out to be at the end, it doesn't really matter. It may be lower. It should be lower because otherwise the aircraft won't be able to depart. So sometimes SimBrief does do this because it like mismatches with zero fuel weight, max zero fuel weights and everything. But all it does mean it's just SimBrief is wrong. Anyway, we're going to request the catering at the same time of fueling, so we just click catering, click request, and it should pop up catering service requested. So yeah, the GSX integration with the FSLabs is sick. I must say. Anyway, so what you can do for now is kind of wait for fueling to be done, or you can just do some more of the MCDU setup and, well, wait even more again. Where's the other... Ah, there it is. It's right there. It's going to get it right in the way of this. No, it's not right in the way of the GSX refueling. I'm just trying to find where GSX is coming from. We could just go to the camera of the fuel truck. Here we go, fuel truck front. Air BP today. Yeah. Oh, they're coming from all the way behind. I get it. So they are coming from behind here. There you go. There's catering vehicles. I think they zoom past it. Yeah, they zoom past the fuel truck. Cool. Anyway, back to the cockpit. Like I said, you can just change the 0 fuel weight until it goes whatever colour it goes to. I can't remember. Maybe blue. Yes, blue. And then you can do the boarding. Or you just keep it at 72 or whatever value it is at. And then you just click begin and then the aircraft automatically lower it. Talking about beginning, we'll click begin. And hopefully in about 5 minutes time catering will be done. We don't want to load the passengers and do catering at the same time. So in about 5 minutes time, which will be 11:45, which we'll go and enter in now, at the time, we'll go and request boarding, like so. And boarding, it should just quickly get requested. It won't pop up this time because it's not actually requesting boarding now, but the aircraft at 11:45, as soon as the second ticks pass, GSX will pop up asking to board. If there hasn't been any like certain, I don't know, boarding carriers, we've got JetBlue by default. It will pop up with the multiple ones like typical that you typically see. Anyway, there you go. The wind's come through. It comes for different altitudes, but we want it at 330, which isn't actually one here. But anyway, go to the menu page. If you can see on the upper ECAM here, it says company message. So go over to the AOC menu. I know it's actually on there anyway. I could just turn it over there, but go to receive messages. We have two messages. We have one message talking about our slot information. 787, JetBlue 787 that is. JFK to St. Martin. You can see these sort of times are kind of wrong. Off the box time and takeoff time. They'll be whatever they are, to be honest. And our delay time, we were expecting no delay actually. Cool. No pressure. Taxi time is 14 minutes. That is actually very good for JFK. Typically taxi times, well, both times I've been at JFK, IRL, our taxi time must have been over an hour each. It's pretty bad at JFK. Anyway, the load sheet. This is the cool thing, I guess you could say. That tells you everything that you need to know. This is the preliminary. So basically this is the estimated stuff. We're going to click accept here. And you can see our 0 fuel weight is way over the max one, as you can tell. Now we know that our max 0 fuel weight, which the aircraft's put in, I could probably change the values for the for SimBrief. So SimBrief never actually goes over to 71.5, but whatever. And we can see our takeoff fuel, which is that, and our takeoff weight, which is basically this plus this, which is that, 87.7 tons. Maybe GSX will load on to 71.5 for the 0 fuel weight, and then basically, as you can tell, it's basically 500 kilograms less, so 87.2, which could be our takeoff weight, which is way under the max takeoff weight. You can see all the landing weights and everything. You can see how many passengers we're expecting. You can see this is not max, this is a MAC. So this is basically the CG, center of gravity for 0 fuel weight, and center of gravity for takeoff weight. And the reason why I like that is if you go to the init page, just click init again, go to the next page, you can see our 0 fuel weight and our 0 fuel weight CG. So we're expecting 72. We'll just put everything that we're expecting. We'll obviously change it if it changes later on when we get our final load sheet. But yeah, and our CG is 35.8. This is all expected. And like I said, the fuel on board we're expecting is 15.7 as well. If you haven't got the load sheet, if you want to recheck your fuel, just go to the OFP data page and remember 15.9, but it says 15.9 there, but in the load sheet looking at 15.7. So I thought I realised why it was 200 kilograms less, but no, I was wrong. Anyway, let's fill out some of this stuff, which Possibly could be wrong, but like I said, when we get our final load sheet, which is all correct, it will be more accurate and we can take off easier. If you're flying on VATSIM, which I am not today, there's not a JetBlue around actually. There's 3 there, 4. There's 4 JetBlues now. I mean, this is the JetBlue terminal, so none over there. There's one over there I can see. Another one over there. Is that like a 10? For 10 years maybe? I don't know. But yeah, if you're flying online, you can do the ATC request. Like I said, for these certain AOC stuff, you can, or features I should say, you can go check out Blackbox711 on YouTube, and he's got various videos for special FSLabs features like the ATC requests and performance requests. We'll be doing the performance request today actually, but the ATC request for like departure clearance for ATC with VATSIM, I think it only works in VATSIM, I think. So you just put your flight number and your gate and your ATC ID, and then you click send, and hopefully they'll give you a PDC, which is pretty cool. And actually you can do the same for the oceanic clearance. So I've got some ATC online, you can put it all through there, and I think if you do that, it'll pop up the DCD, which is pretty cool. Anyway, go back to the FMGC, go to the flight plan page, and as you can see, we have a bit of a flight plan discontinuity. If you go to JFK, just click on that, and once you're on it, you click departure, and you have runways available. With SimBrief, we just go over to SimBrief, here we go. If we scroll down, we can see my departure runway we have selected is, we can't see it at all. It's 04 left. And we will be taking the, are we taking any departure? I don't think SimBrief has calculated a departure for us. It hasn't, but if it did, we'll select these departures. But like I said, we have no departure, so we can click no SID here, and there's no transitions. Insert, and yeah, it says direct to ship, so we'll just clear this off like so, and we'll click insert, and that's got rid of the discontinuity. Right, I've got the GSX estimated passenger number. Let me just click enter, because it automatically calculates that, and we get the jetway to 4 left, but no, we get the jetway to door number 1 left. Why can't I go to door number 2 left? Is that not a thing with A321s? Typically they do that on typical aircraft with multiple doors, at least 2 doors in front of the wing, so they can split. Oh, that's gone right into the aircraft. So they can split the economy passengers in the business and first class pretty easily, instead of everyone going through first class, which I guess first class passengers don't really like. But do JetBlue have first class on A321s? No idea. If you look at your charts, you can look at the initial climb for your flight. If you don't know what the initial climb is, like I don't know right now because I have no SID, according to SimBrief. I'm just going to put 5,000. That's typically around the typical initial climb clearance. It's not really part of the FSLabs that you should know, it's just a standard procedure, but it's just simple, and just try not to keep it like the default 100 feet, because that's just stupid. Anyway, 5,000 feet. We can set everything else there up in the MCP, so we can set the VORs on, which will come onto the display here on the ND, which can be useful, it may not be useful, depending on how you are. On our departure at 04 left, apparently we're doing a straight right-hand turn, so that'll be fun. Anyway, CSTR means constraints. If you tick that, if you go to the plan page, it'll be easy to find out what it does. It hasn't really done it on the Airbus. It doesn't really do it well, but basically it maybe doesn't do it on the plan page, it's just on the ARC. But typically it'll just show you the times of arrival on certain waypoints. It just gives a bit more information on your flight plan, basically. Anyway, this is your range, so from 10 nautical miles to 320, like so, and you can zoom in and out as you do. You do the same on this side, but I like this airport. So you have constraints and then airports instead of both in the same one. You get a bit more variety, if you, let's say, for each display. I like this one to be on 20, so I can just peek over there for a bit more of a I don't know, a zoomed out look of the routing. If you're departing or something, just look on the right side instead of having to click over there, or maybe even misclick like I just did then and right click instead. Terrain as well, like I said, you just peek over, look at the terrain around while this one's got the weather, or vice versa. If you're in a more terrain or more hilly area, more mountainous area, you can look over and look at the weather on the side and the terrain on this side. In fact, if you've got the terrain radar on, you've probably wondered, even like pros out there, what these numbers mean. Basically, it's the highest terrain and the lowest terrain, like scan basically. So this is a flight level, so this is 200 feet for the lowest and 400 feet for the highest. This isn't lowest. The lowest is actually 0 feet at sea level, but this is the lowest terrain. So at 200 feet, 400 feet. Obviously it's come out yellow because we're at 0 feet, but yeah. Anyway, put that off. I like it on this side, and because there's no mountains, we can keep it on that side. You can see actually LaGuardia, or how you pronounce it, it's just straight ahead of us. The smaller New York airport. Anyway, back to the overhead. I haven't been here for a while. We can get the crew supply oxygen on. We should have done that right in the first place, but I totally forgot about the overhead. As well, ground control, just click that on. I'll go on to auto. This is just for the cockpit device, whatever it's called. Basically, it's a cockpit voice recorder. That's it. That's what it does. Anyway, you could test it as well on arrays. So, if you want to erase your data, you don't want anyone to find out what you've been talking with your fellow pilot. Anyway, no smoking can definitely go on. Seatbelts, you don't turn on until fueling's done, because if there's an issue with the fueling, maybe it's a fire, then hopefully all the passengers haven't got their seatbelts on and they can rush out as fast as possible, which is why I have the seatbelts off. I'm not too sure why it's done the belt. For today, the Airbus can use the crates, whatever they're called, the AKH sized ones, but hey ho. It's just FSLabs default with GSX, typical. This uses the belt instead. Because we've got a lot of fuel coming on board today, about 15 tons, the fueling will take a while. So at some point, once we've basically set up most of the aircraft and just waiting for fueling to be done, I'll skip the video because the FSLabs tutorial, or part of it, is kind of waiting if you have GSX. So yeah, if you look at the flight plan, you're now done the departure. You can do the arrival. If your flight is basically any flight under 1 hour long, I would do the arrival when you're sat at the departure airport, because once you're in the air, you don't have a ton of time to go and check all the arrivals and runways, wind changes and all that stuff. So I would do the arrival now, but because our flight is over 3 hours long, I'm not going to do the arrival until we get closer to St. Martin, which I'll show you in a future episode. That's cool to say. I now own a TV series. Anyway, you can go through your flight plan to make sure nothing goes wrong. So if you just zoom all the way out, like so, and just click the plan, and once you scroll through the MCU with these arrows, so the up arrow like scrolls the page up, if that makes sense, so it goes through. It's kind of confusing sometimes, but we just scroll up, make sure there's no waypoints that are just like out of middle of nowhere, or like, because my last flight to St. Martin, there was a waypoint in the middle of nowhere for some random reason. I think I was using PFBX at the time, so I think it was one of the reasons why I now use SimBreathe. But yeah, it's a simple way of just checking your flight plan's all correct and not stupid in any way. Passengers will just be loading on, they'll be doing their thing, like so. Anyway, if you don't want to use the AOC stuff to get all the passengers on, you can go to the menu options and then go to payload, and you can set your 0 fuel weight, and you can see it's actually going up with GSX in here, and the same for the fuel. You can go and set your fuel in here as well, like so. This aircraft has got no extra fuel tanks, sorry, not pumps, so it's got a maximum fuel load of 19 tons. We're actually going to almost fill it up all the way, so pretty cool. We'll go back to the ATSU AOC menu. Because we have the weird 0 fuel weight, I can do the performance requests, but we may be quite wrong. We could overpower today than what we need. So I'm gonna wait for the final load sheet, and then we'll do the performance requests, because then it could be a bit more accurate. Once fueling's done, this will be filled out and automatically click send. But like I said, we've basically finished up most of the stuff, and what we're just doing now is waiting for boarding and refueling to be done. So what I'm going to do, I'll skip the video and I'll see you in 1 sec. Welcome back. Fueling's still going on. Boarding's complete though. We've got about a ton left of fuel to get in the aircraft. Not too many. I don't even know what I'm saying now. Anyway, message. We got loads. We got 3 messages. The first one is okay. This is our estimated performance for takeoff info. I should just read what that said. So it's basically our estimated takeoff weight and our takeoff CG, which we have also got a load sheet now, and this is a compliance with ED, and I've never received any of it. I think it's our final load sheet, but I've never read that before. Anyway, yeah, we got a takeoff weight. We got passengers of 202 plus 2, so we've got an extra 2 passengers on board. And you can see, wait, was that 0 fuel weight? 0 fuel weight is 72. Is it really? I thought I didn't like that. Does it load on 72? Let's go to the payload page. Yeah, it has loaded on 72. I wonder if we are able to like request a performance. Anyway, so that's the final load sheet. We'll go through that in a minute. And fuel reports missing. Yes, that's because I haven't got the fuel on board. So I wonder if the takeoff weight is off. Nope, no, it's not off. It's correct. Anyway, what I'd like to do with the performance, if I go over to here, go to the MCD menu, ATSU, AOC menu, and go to performance request, what I like to do is for the takeoff weight, I like to round this up to the nearest ton. Unless if it is under, like let's say it's 87.4, then I round it up to 87.5, for example. Because 87.7, I kind of like it to round up to 88.0. So we'll just go to the second page and just put in 88.0 here for this estimated takeoff weight. And our CG for takeoff weight, so MAC takeoff weight is 32.0. Like so, back to the other page, we'll just enter in some of the digits. So this is kind of easy to understand. So departure, it's got 4 letters, so that's the departure ICAO, whatever you want to say, which is KJ, I can't even find J, KJFK. Departure runway, we have decided earlier, 04 left. Intersections, well, we're not planning to do any intersected departures, but we can turn that on just so I can show you what it does. Anti-ice will definitely be on today, engine and wing, because like just look at our wing, it's actually not that frozen up anymore, which I don't know, it just took a while to load in. Okay. It's not wet though, it's just icy, and our packs will be off. No. Wind, just double click that, and double click everything actually. Like so, and that will just enter in everything. It is minus 6 degrees in here, but it's minus 9, according to Data Sky, so we're going to actually put that in. But everything else is correct, so we'll leave that as so. Toga, we're not planning to do Toga. We may need it. If we put no and it comes out saying like error, we'll turn it on. And our config, basically that's our flap config 1, 2 or 3, but we'll be using 1 today. Can put optimum, but I'm pretty sure we'll be fine with flaps 1. So we're going to send it off. It may take a while for it to actually go through, and now it's sent. So we should get a performance request. If it gives us an error, it doesn't actually necessarily tell us what the error is sometimes, which is rather annoying, but if we do get an error, then we can just put in some digits that I know will come out positive, if that makes sense. Anyway, fueling's done, so we've got 15.9 tons of fuel. What we're going to do is, you see this uplink page, it says 17,320, just put that in the scratch pad down here, and just enter it into the volume page, and then you can send this off like so. And now that's sent. You can see the stars come back, so you know it's been sent. Go to init page, go to the next page. We just double click the 0 fuel weight, and we're entering the correct CG actually, and the 0 fuel weight stayed the same. And the block fuel, we can do exactly the same, which that's kind of wrong, but it's 15.9. Not too bad, not too far off. So the performance request will be what we fill out here on the takeoff page. Like I said, still waiting for it to come through, but everything's done now. So what we can do, make sure the nav logo light is now on, and we can start up the APU. Because fueling's done as well, we can turn on the pumps to auto, so the APU will get fuel, like so. All the fuel pumps are now on auto. So to start up the APU, you can click the master switch to on. If you go scroll down to the lower ECAM, this will come up automatically on the APU page. And is the dynamic lighting still on in this airport, even though it's still kind of bright. But yeah, just wait for the APU page to say flap open like so, and now you can start up the APU and the seatbelt signs can go on because we have the refueling done. Anyway, performance, it has come through, yay, I did it correctly. JFK 04 left, beautiful, and everything else, anti-ice is on, and everything else we've entered is there. You can see here with our flaps 1 as requested, and it's given us our takeoff stab trim, which we will enter in as down 1. So flap and stab trim, that means THS. So flaps 1 and down of 1.0. I don't know why it gives you two decimal points here when you can't do 2 decimal points here. Just weird, but yeah. So down is DN. It gives you it here, but if it was up, you just put up. And then whatever, 5.0. I've never seen that before, but yeah. If it's down, it's DN, like so. Next page. This is a full length departure. We are doing flaps 1, and those are V speeds, and it does say flex, and because it's been cut off, it will be on the next page here. But it says we can't do flex, we have to do toga. If it gave you a flex reading, or just integer, it will give you maybe, like, let's say 36, and you put that into there. But as we're doing toga departure, we just clear it off and keep it empty. Takeoff shift though, as we're doing full length, there is no shift of, like, change of runway length, basically, that means. So we're doing full length, so it's 0. But if, as we turned on intersections, if there was an intersection the aircraft calculated we could depart from, it will go and give you that. It will say from what, Alpha 4, for example, at Heathrow, and it will say on the shift a certain value, and you would enter that into here, like so. We've got our V-speeds as well, so we'll put those in. So 145 goes into the V1, and our rotate is 156 knots, and our V2 is 161. Transition altitude is entered automatically at 18,000 feet, and our thrust reductions are all entered in automatically at 1,500, plus whatever height we're at, which apparently is 10 feet, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, that's now entered in. Perf in it, everything is done. So that is the MCD all set up with flaps 1 departure, and yeah, that's all good. We don't have to go to this AOC menu ever again. Well, we kind of do if we want to go and work out the weathers. If we go over and get the METARs, like so, you know, click that and get the METAR. If we do it via the ATIS or / weather, and no, wow, okay, still broken. Well, not still, but it is broken. Anyway, what I like to leave this on is on the perf page and the flight plan page on each MCDU. Right, APU, back to the APU. This is now says available, which is cool, which means we can turn on the APU bleed, and because it is available, we can turn off external power, and that will go available. And as you can tell, nothing's turned off or gone crazy, which is a good thing. Parker brake is on, and what I'm going to do is go up to the point of requesting pushback, and then I'll take you off to the next video. So, to get the pushback and everything else set up, you just need to click the INT interphone, and then back to the VHF, like so, and that will pop up the GSX menu, hopefully. There we go. And do I want to request de-icing? Yes, I do. So we'll get de-icing today, which I'll show you how that works. It's pretty simple, actually. You just wait for GSX to do de-icing. If you want to get the PA and everything else turned on, like the cabin interphones, so you can listen to all the announcements going on from the jet making that noise. Yeah, the announcements from the cabin crew. Anyway, so what GSX will do, it'll bring out the the de-icing. What's that lighting glitch? It'll bring the de-icing trucks, as you can tell, and it'll simply ask you for the different types of fluid. Okay, GSX has come here and doing its thing. It's just going to recommend different types of fluids. It's just recommend fluid type 1. I haven't really looked into this very often, but I'm just going to go with the GSX stuff. If you just leave it for a while, it'll just select the GSX default, so I'm not going to click anything, and it'll automatically select 75%. So it'll do that. I'm pretty sure when you do de-icing, aircraft actually turn off the APU because it's technically an engine running, but I don't know if you want to get de-icing stuff into the engine, but I can't right when the baby's up. The AP's on actually, you can hear it and you can kind of see the, oh, where's the effect gone? This is when it's something tuned in. There you go, it's back. But yeah, de-icing will start and anti-ice. I'm not too sure if FSLabs relies on different fluid types. I do not know that. And once again, take a look at Black Box 711 for some in-depth things about those sort of features. And as you can see, all the ice is gone now. I'll probably apply this greenish fluid for the anti-ice, or it may not do that. Like I said, I've forgotten which fluid types do what and at what concentration, or even if FSLabs cares about that stuff. Anyway, that's how you do that, and what I'm going to do is basically end this video as we've all set up the aircraft. Everything is good to go, ready for the pushback. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video of the FSLabs tutorial, and I hope you have got to the same stage as me and haven't found anything confusing. And if you have though, do comment down below and I'll try and help you out. I'll see you next video.